Good morning. Today I start measurement of high resistance. So high resistance are often encountered in the electrical equipment and frequently measured. And some example of high resistance are insulation resistance of electrical equipment like machine, cables, and resistance of high resistance circuit like a vacuum tube circuit, leakage resistance of capacitor, volume resistivity of material, surface resistivity of material. So when you measure the high resistance, there is some difficulty arises due to the insulating material, because the resistance of insulating material are almost incomparable with the measurement of high resistance. So in this way we are facing the problem. So those are the problem difficulties of measurement of high resistance. First one is the insulation resistance of the resistor may be comparable with the actual value of the resistance, thus leakage current are produced. So leakage current introduce error, because if you want to measure the high resistance, the insulating material resistance of insulating material are almost equal to the compare with the high resistance. So in this case the leakage current, that means the current that you apply to the resistor, that some part of the current is passed through the insulating material, that introduce the error in the measurement. Second is due to electrostatic effect, stress change can appear in the measuring circuit, cause error. And third one, fairly high voltage are used in the test in order to raise the current to reasonable value in order to be measured. So normally the sensitive galvanometer are used. So to minimize the error due to insulating material, so you use the guard circuit. So how the problem is arises due to insulating material? Suppose this is the high resistance. If you want to measure the resistance of this material, so there is one insulating material that cover the resistance. So the resistance of insulating material and high resistance are almost same. So some part of the current is passed through the insulating material. Suppose this is the resistance R that you have to measure using the voltmeter ammeter method, and we have applied one voltage source E. So the voltmeter reading measure the voltage across the high resistance, but the ammeter read the current across the resistance R and leakage current. That means when you apply the current I, some part of the current is passed through the cable insulating material, and remaining is passed through the high resistance. So at that time ammeter read the IL plus IR, but the actual current is passed through the resistance is IR. So due to leakage current, the current value is measurement there is a error in the measurement. So use to avoid the error due to insulating material, so we use the guard circuit. The function of guard circuit is that when you apply the voltage voltage E, and 1 voltmeter is connected across the resistance, so there is one bypass circuit that bypass the leakage current of insulating material, and ammeter read the actual current through the resistance. So in this way, because for the measurement of high resistance, voltmeter reading by ammeter reading. So if you apply the voltage V is very high, so current because the R is very high, so current B must be in microampere. So the second part is due to the sensitivity of the ammeter, ammeter, the current is if the value of current is affected, the measurement of R affected. So instead of microammeter, you use the sensitive galvanometer that measures the minimum means a small deviation, even a small deviation in the change due to change in the current. So in this way we have avoid the error cause region, that means the error due to leakage current we avoid using the guard circuit. And in order to and in a current measurement you use a sensitive galvanometer that measure a micro current even in the sensitive meter. So what is the function of guard terminal? Guard terminal surrounding the resistance terminal entirely and is connected to battery side of the microammeter, and leakage current now bypass through the ammeter that indicates, and ammeter indicates only the IR, that means the current through the resistance. In this way the guard circuit reduce the error due to insulation resistance. Now method of measurement of R resistance. So there is a 4 method. First is the direct deflection method, second is a loss of charge method, third one is the mega ohm bridge, and fourth one is the Megger. The first direct deflection method. In a direct deflection method, voltage is applied. You use the guard circuit to minimize error due to insulation resistance of the material, and ammeter read the current through the resistance, and voltmeter read the voltage across the circuit. So for the high resistance such as insulation resistance of cable, the sensitive galvanometer of D-adaptable type having a high current sensitivity used in place of microammeter. So how you use the how you measure the insulation resistance of cable? Suppose this is the cable, this is the conducting material, and this portion is the insulating material, and this is the metal sheet mainly used in the cable for the to avoid the mechanical damage of the circuit. So for the measurement of insulation the resistance of cable, so you have to connect the voltage source, one voltage source, and the one part of the circuit, that means to the guard circuit, the one terminal of the guard circuit is connected to the insulating material, another part through metal sheet, and the ammeter is connected through the conducting material, and the other part is connected with the metal sheet that connect with the negative terminal of voltage. So in this way the voltmeter read the voltage across material and metal sheet, and current measure the current through the conducting material and metal sheet. In this way we avoid the insulation resistance that introduce error in the measurement of high resistance. So here you use the high galvanometer of very sensitive, and that means the for the accurate measurement of current across the conducting material. Second is the loss of charge method. Loss of charge method, that means in the loss of charge method you use the concept of source free RC circuit that you have already discussed in the circuit theory. That means how the capacitor is discharged through the resistance. So in this method, suppose if you want to measure the resistance R using the loss of charge method, we have to connect one parallel resistance across the resistance, and first there is one switch. Voltmeter read the voltage across the resistance, and we apply capital V voltage across the circuit. So first the switch is closed, so capacitor is fully charged up to a applied voltage capital V. So when the switch is open in this circuit, voltage across the capacitor, that means V, is discharged through resistance, and for a particular time, because the resistance is very high, so for a resistance is very high, the time constant of RC source free RC circuit time constant tau is equal to R into C. So resistance is very high, so the time constant is very high, so the discharging process is very slow. So we can measure the voltage across the resistance for a particular time. So for suppose for a particular time t, we have to measure the voltage drop across the resistance R, and we have to measure the time. So according to the voltage equation, voltage across V is equal to capital B into e to the power minus t by R into C, where RC is the time constant of a circuit. So finally, if you calculate the R is equal to T by C into log E capital V by small v, in this way we have to measure the unknown resistance R. So this is the graph where how the voltage across the resistance is decaying from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to infinity. In this way we have to measure for a particular, suppose we have to measure the voltage across resistance R for a time t. So we have to measure the voltage, and in using this formula you can measure the unknown resistance R. So this method is very useful but lengthy process. If the resistance R is very high, then the time for the appropriate fall in a voltage is very large. Thus, the process may become a time consuming. That means, if the very high resistance, the time constant of a circuit is large. And that's why the voltage decaying process is very slow, and it takes time to consuming for the measurement of high resistance. So this method is applicable for the some high resistance, but it required a capacitor of very high leakage resistance as high as resistance being measured. From experimental point of view, we have to plot the graph between the log V and versus time t, because the graph is linear and you can measure the take the value of value of voltage across resistance V for a particular time t, and you have to calculate the unknown resistance R using this formula. Third one is a mega ohm bridge method. So mega ohm bridge method is just a modification of Wheatstone bridge, but there is a problem due to insulating resistance. Suppose this is the high resistance that you have to measure using the mega ohm bridge, and this portion is the insulating material. So suppose this is the guard terminal G. So the equivalent circuit is converted into, suppose the terminal A high resistance is between the terminal A and B is R that you have to measure, but due to insulation resistance, RAG is the insulation resistance between terminal G and terminal A, and RBG is the insulation resistance between the terminal B and terminal G. So if you measure the resistance of at particular condition, then R measure is equal to, because the RBG and RAG are in series and that parallel with the measuring resistance, so equivalent resistance is equal to this. Suppose all are 100 mega ohm, so 100 mega ohm plus 100 mega ohm into 100 mega ohm by 300 mega ohm. So in this calculation you think 200 into 100, so almost 67 mega ohm. So due to insulation resistance, suppose the measuring resistance have a value 100 mega ohm, so equivalent resistance you can get using the mega ohm bridge 67 mega ohm. So there is about 33% of error due to insulation resistance. So this is the Wheatstone bridge, the condition if you measure using the mega ohm bridge. So you have to modify the circuit, that means modify the circuit. So using modification, the RBG is in parallel with the galvanometer, and RAG in parallel with the terminal with the arm resistance P. So in this way, Wheatstone bridge is modified for the measurement of high resistance that avoid the measurement due to that avoid the error due to insulating resistance. So modified Wheatstone bridge is used to reduce the error due to leakage resistance, where RBG is put in the parallel with the galvanometer, and thus it has no effect on the balance, only affect the sensitivity of galvanometer slightly, and RAG in parallel with the arm resistance P. So this is the finally the circuit diagram of mega ohm bridge. Mega ohm bridge, this is the guard terminal, and this is the this portion is a galvanometer. So you have to apply the amplifier for the getting minimum deflection in the circuit. Guard terminal. So guard terminal, the one part of the insulating resistance in parallel with the galvanometer, another part is in parallel with the P, and this is the selector switch to select the standard resistance S. In this way, when the bridge is balanced, we can measure the value R is equal to S into P by Q, and in this way you can avoid the error due to insulating resistance. Last method is the Megger. This is the this portion is the most popular and useful method for the measurement of high resistance, especially for the insulation resistance. You can go through the YouTube video where you can see the actual working principle and how it works for the measurement of insulation resistance. This is a most popular and portable device. It is just like a vanity box. You can carry anywhere for the measurement of insulation resistance. So in a Megger, this is the internal circuit diagram of Megger. So better I prefer you to go through the YouTube how the Megger is used for the measurement of insulation resistance or for the measurement of high resistance. In a Megger, there is one hand driven generator. When you rotate the generator, a voltage generated across the terminal, and unknown resistance is connected in the circuit. And there is one angular iron ring where those two are the voltage coil V1 and V2, and this is the current coil. So due to voltage generate due to the hand driven generator, there is a flux. Those are the magnetic pole. So in a magnetic pole, the flux is generated, and the unknown resistance is connected in across the current coil, and voltage is applied across the voltage V1 and V2. This is the scale where you can measure the resistance of a insulating material or any high resistance. The principle of ratio meter ohm meter is particularly adopted for the application of portable instrument measuring insulating resistance, and this principle forms the basic of insulating testing resistance known as Megger. So how it works and its construction: the current coil is similar to that of the PMMC instrument. There is one current coil. It is similar to PMMC instrument. There was two voltage coil V1 and V2. There is two voltage coil V1 and V2. The voltage coil V1 embraces the angular magnetic core, and voltage coil V1 is in the weak magnetic field. Voltage coil V1 is in the weak magnetic field, and V2 in the strong magnetic field. So when the pointer is at infinity position, hence is the coil can expert a very little torque. The torque exerted by the voltage coil increases as it moves into the stronger field, and this torque is maximum when it is under the pole face, and under this condition pointer is at 0. So when the coil is moved from B1 to B2, so from that means the voltage across, we have to move the movement of this angular from lower magnetic field to higher magnetic field, and this needle move from infinity to 0. In this way, when in the pole face there is a when this angular iron ring in the pole face, then needle in the position of 0. The combined action of voltage coil V1 and V2 may be considered as through the coil constituted a spring of variable stiffness and being very stiffer 0 of the scale. The voltage range of the instrument can be controlled by the voltage sector switch. There is a voltage sector switch, we can control the voltage range of the instrument. So as the same magnet system supply the magnetic field to the both instrument and generator, so current and voltage coil move in the common magnetic field, and the instrument indicating independent of the strength magnetic field. So in this circuit, finally in this circuit there is a self-driven generator, that means a hand-driven generator. This generator, when you generate a voltage across generator by rotating the hand, by rotating the handle of the switch, a voltage is generated. This voltage we have to the voltage of this voltage generated through the generator is connected across the voltage coil V1 and V2, and there is a current coil. So we have to connect the unknown resistance from the voltage V and current coil. In this way, the movement of angular iron is based on the value of unknown resistance. It means the value of unknown resistance R is equal to V by I. So R is equal to V by I. The V by I. So voltage across the current voltage across the voltage coil use as a voltage in the and current across the unknown resistance can use in the current coil. In this way, this magnetic portion is this angular iron is move in the magnetic field and measure the unknown resistance. So this is the internal diagram of the Megger. I suggest you to please go through the YouTube and how the Megger is used in the real actually field, can also be useful for you. Okay, thank you.